Steve, the Cookout Coach, and you're listening to the Barbecue Central Show.
Start the game! Let's go!
We'll do it live. Okay. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
So to get that perfect barbecue, you use wood. Are you sure it's safe? Whatever. We put the lighter fluid on, strike the match, and... Oh! Should we call the fire department? That might be a good idea.
Good evening and welcome to the really big Barbecue Central show. This is the show that talks about all things that are important to the world of barbecue and grilling. The show originating, of course, from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame city, Bomb City, USA, Cleveland, Ohio, the barbecue capital of the North Coast. I'm your program host, Greg Rippey. Happy to have you aboard here on your Tuesday evening's live fire fun and provocative show. If you want to jump in tonight and contact me, here's how you do it.
You can get in touch with the show by sending an email to Greg at BBQCentralShow.com. Follow us on all the social media channels at BBQ Central Show. And be sure to subscribe to the show podcast feed on your favorite podcast platform.
Anything else you want to find out about the show can be found at the main website, the BBQCentralShow.com. And here's what's happening in case you didn't get the newsletter coming up in about 12 to 13 minutes from now. Typically, you would find him in the second interview segment of this very month. However, because so many things have been going on over the last month or two or since the year turned, things have started to pack up in these segments. And because the way scheduling worked out, we're able to load them in for the first interview segment, carry them all the way through. We can bleed into that second if we need to make sure that we kind of play catch up at this point. Not even kind of. So we can play catch up at this point and then start anew as July rolls around. We will be meeting with who? The bristly barbecue journalist, Derek Riches. DerekRiches.com is his website, and you can read all about what he's writing about right there. You can subscribe to newsletters. You can go to his social feeds. You can do all of that stuff, and you can find all the things that Derek is into. Plus, he's here every month, the fourth Tuesday, and you've landed in the right time if this is your first time in the show, because Derek's a great interview. And what we love most, he is the definition of what this show is supposed to be about. Courageous. Daniel Vaughn, guest last week, years ago, said, I thought we were courageous on this show. And I said, you know what? Damn right. We are courageous on this show, and we will continue to be courageous going forward after he threw down that gauntlet. Derek's certainly one of the most courageous names in the biz, letting it all fly. So looking forward to catching up with Derek here in just a few. He will wrap that first hour, or most of it, and then we'll figure out how to fill it from there if we don't get through it. But I have a good feeling there's a lot of stuff to get through with Derek, and the first hour will be all of his. Then we'll move to the second hour. Oh, my goodness. The second hour is going to be amazing. It's the fourth Tuesday of a month in the second hour, so you know that brings a visit from the Embedded Correspondents. But notwithstanding that, and yes, we have a whole new line of 100% Assurtiy questions, because last month we were busy picking who we think should be in the BBQ Hall of Fame. By the way, a large percentage of us were correct, and two of the four of us were 100% correct, and we'll talk about all of that with them as we talk to them at 10:14 this evening. But notwithstanding that, after the abridged Embedded Correspondents segment, it's coming to an end this evening. The finals, the crescendo, the finale. Barbecue Central Show's American Idol. Me, Rusty. We have a produced single that we will be playing for you. Then as we do in the finals, what? The two finalists, me and Rusty, will sing live for you this evening. That's right. It's not recorded. It's not produced. I mean, it's production because we have music beds. But the singing will be live. You have to stick around for it at 10:35 or 10:30. There will be at least 2/3 of the female judges in studio. Jose Urquiza, lead singer of 3 Years Hollow, the officially unofficial band of the Barbecue Central show. Doug will be in. John will be in as well. Oh, my goodness. It's going to be something, so you're going to have to stay tuned for that in the second hour. And we'll see in a week's time who season 3 will be champion-wise. Who sang it the best all season to win and remain champion for the duration of 2022 into 2023 before season 4 starts up. And I'm sure everybody's already duly excited about that. So that's what's in store for you this evening. Hopefully I've amped it up enough for you. Don't forget, you can follow me socially, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat at BBQ Central Show. For live video feeds of the show, you can go to Facebook and Twitch/BBQ Central Show. Also over on YouTube/RD Rempe. And finally, we are live on Clubhouse audibly. So if you don't want to look at us or you have no way to look at us, but you do have the Clubhouse app, you can listen right there live as it's happening during the show, 9 to 11 Eastern. So let's start here tonight. And making his second trip into the Barbecue Central Show watch party this evening, and I can't verify this, and I'm going to venture out and say it, the youngest Barbecue Central Show fan to date, Joey Clota, is back watching tonight. Joey, get ready for a second hour that will blow your mind, nephew. You're going to watch your uncle sing. He is probably going to impress you more than he ever has before with his singing wiles. So stay tuned for that and then go immediately to bed because it'll be late. Now, outside of the singing and Joey, I know we have some SCA folks that listen to the show, and hopefully some of you are in this tri-state area. Let's call it Ohio and Kentucky and Pennsylvania. There's a West Virginia there, so now it's 4 states. Indiana, now it's 5 states. Boy, that's a lot of states. There's going to be a double SCA contest in Canton, Ohio during the NFL Hall of Fame weekend. This contest will take place July 30th. There's a $160 cover for one event or $320 for both ends of it. So if you're in Ohio or the surrounding Ohio areas, or you just like to travel like a maniac for SCA contests, and you have always wanted to try your hand at steak competitions, if you're new to this and you're around here, this is it. By the way, first place pays $1,000. Friend of show, Mr. Brisket, is supplying the steaks right there in Cleveland Heights. So local purveyor jaunting down to Canton and having his hand at SCA competitions. So we wish, Hank and Aaron, all the gang out there, good luck in that endeavor. We'll continue to promote it here because I'm a nice guy. Listener feedback from the show last week. Pete in Idaho writing in, Greg, love the Daniel Vaughn segments last week. I'm a podcast listener, and I do it while I cut the lawn. I have to say, I'm with you on side dishes. Who cares how good they are? Well, I'll agree with Daniel on that being a tipping point on which one I might want to go to, all things being equal. What am I saying? Well, I agree with Daniel on that being a tipping point on which one I might want to go to, all things being equal otherwise. My assumption is that one place is really going to have the better barbecue, and that's where I am going. I'm here for the barbecue. Love the show. Regards, Pete. Pete, I agree with you. Nick in Oklahoma writing in, Greg, enjoyed the segment with Nick from Oklahoma Joe. I'm in the market, and there were some things that piqued my interest during the segment, having access to the burn pot for more traditional grilling experience seems pretty cool to me. Plus, I don't need all that tech crap that everyone else seems to say that I need, and that's why they're putting it on those cookers. Thank you for continuing to expose us to new brands that are out there. Regards, Nick. Welcome, Nick. And by the way, they are a show sponsor, just to get that out in full disclosure. Jack in Indiana writing in, Greg, this is a preemptive strike going into the second hour. Is there any way We don't have to hear you and Rusty sing live tonight. It's bad enough hearing it produced, but live? How can it be anything but a train wreck? Please don't do it, please. I love everything about the show except these months of the year when you try to make your listeners go deaf on purpose. Why do you hate us? Regards, Jack. Jack, come on. Aren't we allowed, Jack, to expand our horizons and our ear holes all at the same time? Do you just want to listen to professional singers sing eloquently and deliciously to the ears? Or do you want to hear some real-ass men sing songs and rap songs and do whatever songs that we're going to do for you in about an hour and 20 minutes that may or may not want to make you claw your ears off? Did I get that out right? So, Jack, tune out. It's almost over. Literally. Okay, so here's the good news. Derek Riches is in the green room. That's good news number one. Good news number two is the Oklahoma Joe's Ryder DLX Pellet Grill Cooker inaugural cook is an unmitigated success. I didn't do everything, but here's what I wanted to test out on. I'm going to venture a guess, and I will test it out coming up on Saturday, this coming, with 6 racks of ribs coming from Kevin down at the butcher shop, in Pensacola. I'm paying for it. I did the high heat stuff. I wanted to really see if having access to the burn pot gave you a real grilling experience. And I have to say, after rounds and rounds of various proteins on sear, cranked all the way up, this thing performed as advertised. It has that honeycomb cast iron grate, which gives you proper sear marks if you're into that without having to do all the quarter turn flips. That's not that big of a deal, but you get all those nice marks right there. It does get rip-roaring hot, and it cooks well. Plus, there's a incredible amount of space between the 2 extra shelves that can go above it. I just used the one. So after I got the nice sear on the chickens and the beefs, stuck it up there on the top shelf to finish off. Indirect and away. If I felt exceptionally froggy, I would switch that handle over to the smoke mode. So, again, I haven't done the low and slow yet, but I'm assuming it's probably going to show its meat there. I was a little bit more skeptical on the high heat side. And again, an unmitigated success. So very happy for that. If you are in the market, if you would like to check one out for yourself, OklahomaJoes.com is the website. That's OklahomaJoes.com. And by the way, it tells you to dump the hopper every single time that you're done cooking. I'm not that guy. I'm gamble guy. I've had a pellet cooker on my backyard for like 15 years at this point. I've never had any issue with any of the pellets getting wetter. They're in the hopper. We're good. All right, we're back with Derek Riches right after this. Stick around. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the BBQ Central Show, presented by the Ryder Deluxe Pellet Grills from Oklahoma Joe's. Broadcasting live from the BBQ Central Show studios in Cleveland, Ohio. You're listening to the BBQ Central Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
All right, welcome back. This portion of the show being brought to you by the BBQ Guru, creators of automatic pit temperature control devices, sellers of ceramic cookers with built-in power draft fans, accessories to make your barbecue and grilling life easier. Visit bbqguru.com for more information or call them 800-288-GURU. The Barbecue Guru continues to be a breakthrough in barbecue technology. It is the 4th Tuesday of a month, but it is only 14 past, which means you would think that you would be getting some other guest than who's about to slot in for at least the next segment or so. But he is a Barbecue Central Show guest Hall of Famer. You can check him out on his website, DerekRiches.com. We race to the Oklahoma Joe's Ryder DLX Pellet Grills hotline and welcome back friend of the show, Derek Riches. Hey, Derek.
Hey, Greg.
I hope you are doing well. Did you get a haircut?
Yeah, this morning.
Guess what? Me too. Look at us.
Wow. I didn't see you there.
You didn't? Well, I mean, most likely, we were probably in two different locations, but nevertheless, I think it only speaks to our high level of professionalism and our deep-seated need to be revered by all of the live fire public, which is why we maintain these brilliant images for everybody to revel in.
It has nothing to do with our wives telling us to go get a haircut.
My wife says, you need to grow more hair. And I'm like, honey, I can't. It's just not happening anymore. But nevertheless, that's a story for a different day. So plenty of different topics to talk about here, which is why I'm having you on in the lead segment. And then I would imagine there's a pretty good chance it will bleed into Derek's normal segment at 35 past the hour. And we'll see where we go from there. So last month, it was a big month in the world of barbecue. If you're into this kind of thing, it's called the BBQ Hall of Fame. I was asking all of my guests leading into the actual announcement of who was going to make up the class. There was a list of 9, as you recall, finalists. And I said, Derek, who do you think of this 9 will make it into the BBQ Hall of Fame this year? And I have to say, holding one aside, you were 100% correct. So that is fabulous. Now, not to throw any shade in your general directions, half the embedded correspondents were also 75% correct. And the other half of the embedded correspondents were 100% correct with their picks on who they think should be in the BBQ Hall of Fame. But enough about us. Let's talk about you. Ed Mitchell, you guessed, not guessed. You said would go in.
I said.
He's in. You said it. Joe Traeger, you said, would go into the BBQ Hall of Fame. Joe Traeger is in, as we know. Leanne Whippen, you said, and I told you that was our biggest sticking point, I think. At that point, I was the guy that said he was vacillating on Leanne Whippen. Some days I wake up and go, she should absolutely be in there. And other days I wake up and go, I don't know if she should be in there at all. But not Derek. He was steadfast, said Leanne should be in there. Guess what? Leanne Whippen is in there. So far, so good. And then we get to number 4. And you made a great case, as I also heard from Ray Lampe, as I also know of him, which may show our respective ages and what we know has been accomplished in the industry versus other folks, but neither here nor there. You said Byron Chisholm, Bad Byron, should also be in. And unfortunately, that was not correct. Of course, we know rounding out that 4 was John Marcus. Why did you not pick John Marcus? What was a hurdle with him to you?
I honestly, I suspected that it was going to be John Marcus.
Oh, I mean, little revisionist history?
Question was, no, if the question was, who are they going to pick? I'm going, well, probably John Marcus. Not for me though. I just,
what doesn't he do for you? 2 one-trick pony?
Maybe there's a bit of that to it. And I mean, I'm not a big TV watcher. I didn't really watch much of Pit Masters. What I did see was a bit of reality TV and a lot of commercials. And I was like, I mean, okay. But I get the point that they're trying to say, we want to pick people we think have helped popularize. And to me, that gets to be a fuzzy space. You get some picks in that kind of category, which can be a little flash in the pan or a little undeserving. So, I'm sure John's a perfectly nice guy. I've never met him and whatever.
You didn't listen to the interview I had with him 2 weeks ago?
I listened to some of it, yeah.
Oh, I'm telling you, I think when you listen to the full body of that work, it is a pretty magical story, number one. And then just within the barbecue portion of it, here's one thing that I learned. I don't know if a lot of people picked this little nugget up, and I knew this in advance as well, like years ago when we had first talked about it, but John had the background, obviously, in the TV world, so he knew about all of that. But it is incorrect to say this is John Marcus's idea. The idea for barbecue television, believe it or not, is Chris Lilly from Big Bob Gibson, who had occasion to run into John Marcus at a Big Apple block party when that was a thing early on and say, here's an idea. And then all of a sudden, John Marcus is down in Decatur and they're talking about the realistic possibilities of putting on some semblance of a barbecue TV show and what it would look like. And then you had whatever was called the All-Star Barbecue Challenge. And then I think there was another iteration. And then you found that first BBQ Pit Masters try, which was more, as you said, reality TV based. And then that second year, it morphed into the game show. And to me, went off the rails immediately at that point. But again, through the years of the show, I have often said I am not a fan of Chopped style shows. I don't watch Chopped, the original. I don't watch any other bastardization of Chopped. And I certainly wasn't a huge fan of watching BBQ Pit Masters when it turned into that. And that got me into a lot of trouble because I would routinely have contestants on the show, a show that I verbally lambasted week after week, to say, what was it like? And we interviewed the contestants. I loved the contestants. I wanted to promote the contestants. I wanted to make sure that they had platform to talk about whatever they wanted. I just wasn't a fan of the show. I know some pretty big names in the industry who thought I was kind of an a-hole for saying, you're talking out of both sides of your face. You say you love this TV show, or you say you hate this TV show, and then every week you're having a contestant on the TV show that you hate. They couldn't find where the separation was for me.
Hey, it's, I mean, talented and great people can be on something that isn't good.
Right.
And that was kind of, my take on it. And, I mean, I don't, I know the story with Chris Lilly and stuff like that, because I've known Chris for a very, very long time. But, I to me, it was kind of like, how involved is, how big is this for Marcus? And the thing of it is when it first popped up and I saw, that producer, I'm like, you mean the guy from the Cosby Show?
Yeah, that guy.
That guy. And it's like, I'm like, well, for one, it's kind of weird because he was so integral to what was the most popular TV show of the 1980s. And then there was nothing. So I don't know.
Well,
but
that's
no,
not true.
It wasn't my pick.
It wasn't
well,
not
no,
nothing.
I mean,
He did a Different World. He did Late Line. He did a couple other things that really never got off the ground.
Right.
Yeah, but then he found this barbecue television thing. I say this. Like the show or not, it had, I think, 11 seasons. And I don't know what a season constitute into years. I don't know if 2 seasons equal a year or 4, whatever. But it had 11 seasons. And I would say, if you go back through the archives of this show, when I talked to Pitmasters, especially when there was more of a lean towards competition before it just kind of fell out of interest, I would say how you get into it. 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10 people would reference, if not the first thing, the second thing, BBQ Pit Master. So I say it had inspired a generation of competition pit masters and people that just saw it and said, hey, those people can do it. I can do that in my backyard. Or it inspired them more to say, I can get out there and go head to head against them, because that was the beauty of competition barbecue. You could literally go up against the best and see where you stacked up.
No, and you're absolutely right. And the thing of it is that the show would air and I would get emails literally the next day saying, how do I do what they did on the show? Or do you have information about this stuff? And so, I mean, it's benefit from that standpoint. But the thing of it is that I'm not going to agree with the Hall of Fame committee on everything. And that's just the way it is. I don't think you will either.
I won't. And you're 75% right, and I'm 75% right, and that's what we know for sure. That's all that counts. That's a high C where I come from, and I'm okay with C's. Now, you are quickly, and I didn't realize this the last time you were on, a new author again, end of May. You just decided not to say, hey, can we mention this or can we do this? But end of May, according to Amazon, the ultimate grilling cookbook, everything you need to know to master your gas or charcoal grill comes out.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah, right. That's kind of cool. Yeah. I think it technically dropped in June. I'm not.
Well, end of May, it said. So
you know, yeah, something
whatever.
like that.
It might as well be June.
Yeah, it's basically because we had done the complete smoking book. Publishers have, they don't. I don't know. When it comes to naming things, it's like literally the two books were done together back to back as kind of companion pieces, but then not marketed that way. But you know, I mean, those things fall out of your control quite quickly.
Do you name them, or do you just give a suggestion and they pick what they want?
Yeah, kind of. You know, they come back with what they think is gonna sell, what's gonna market well. It's just the way it is. It's the way the business runs today. But yeah, so that was kind of, you know, how Sabrina and I spent, you know, COVID was putting together a couple of cookbooks.
So are you now, I mean, you've had the kebab book, you've had other books, you know, prior to, I guess I know the kebab book and then these subsequent two, the barbecue book, the grilling book. I didn't necessarily know you, aside from what you would write on the internet, as a book author per se, but are you up to 5 books now at this point?
This was the fourth.
The fourth, yeah. So now I would say you're becoming prolific.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like that. But, you know, I mean, book projects kind of come up. You know, it's like there's an opportunity to do it.
Is there?
Go through all
like, how does an opportunity come up?
Somebody contacts us and says, hey, are you interested in doing a book? And we go, okay, we can do that.
Just randomly?
Yeah, nobody's
ever approached me for doing a book. I've done the show for 16 years. Not even one single person has ever said, you ever thought about writing a book? I mean, the answer, of course, is no. I don't read books, so I'm not going to write a book. But all my vast knowledge and experience gains, I'm sure I got a book in me. But
yeah,
nobody's
you
asked.
don't need to be a reader of books to write one. I think
that's hypocritical, though.
Well, okay.
I love hypocrisy, so I'll do it.
Yes, I mean, hypocrisy works. It sells.
Yeah. So you just get a call and says, hey, we have an idea for you to write a book?
Yeah. Basically.
It wasn't boiling on any of yours or Sabrina's back burners or back of mine saying, man, if we could only get a call, we got these books ready to go.
No, I mean, you know, we have ideas for books that we would like to do. The problem of it is that going at it from that direction is really difficult in this day and age. You've got to sell a publisher on the idea that it's sellable and it's marketable. And that's a lot of work. And I don't know that, you know, I want to put that kind of work into it. And, you know, it's at this stage, you know, our ideas can sometimes be a little bit cryptic. At least my ideas tend to be obscure things that people probably wouldn't pay money for. But so no, it's yeah. You know, we like doing books because it's like a structured thing. It's like, you know, you have a specific time frame, and it's very different from online publishing and stuff where you know, what strikes you in the morning is what you got to do. This is kind of like, okay, you have to go back and you have to say, how do you do this entire breadth of the topic and fill it all out and go back to, let's explain everything one more time from the beginning.
Yeah. Is that,
you know, because
I got into a big fight with saying the cooking guy at the beginning of the month because we were talking about Pittsburgh Steaks. That's a topic we may or may not get into. I doubt now we actually will, but he said something to me about, do you know what a Pittsburgh steak is? I was like, yeah, of course. I'm in the live fire industry. I would imagine all of my listeners know. And he's like, you're making a terrible mistake. You should never assume. I'm always repeating myself because you'll always get a new listener or You're always going to get a new podcast subscriber, and maybe they don't know everything. That you shouldn't assume that they know everything that you know. So when you're writing a book, we went back and forth. So when you're writing a book, as you say, is that a nuisance to you to have to go back to boilerplate and then build from there?
No, it's kind of a reset. It's kind of like you spend a lot of time, really talking about, higher end stuff, knowing that you're talking to an audience that's sophisticated, but, you're making assumptions about the people that are reading what you're writing or hearing what you're saying, and having to kind of step back and say, okay, let's go. This person has just bought a grill, or this person's just bought a smoker, and they don't know anything. How do we lay down the foundation for that? And I think that, for me, after 25 years of this, it's kind of helpful to say, there's always new people. There are always going to be new people. And when there stops being new people is when we're in deep trouble. And so it's that, going back to that point of, all right, how do I give this person the best possible experience the first time they do this? And because that's what's going to keep them there. And so, these last two books are I think they've got a sufficient level of sophistication. There's complex enough recipes, I think, that people who are experienced will go, hey, I'm interested in that, or I can try that. But also to structure it in such a way as that people who don't know what they're doing can figure it out and get where they need to be.
Is this fun enough for you to continue to do? Like, is the people calling you with ideas for you to write going to be pinging your phone or DMs on the regular now?
I think we'd like to step away from it for a little bit. I mean, to say that, if somebody called, if something pops up, that email comes and says, hey, we'll consider any deal. I don't generally say no, but I don't want to reinvent the wheel that many times.
Yeah. Is it good money?
It can be. It's a paycheck. It's not bad. It's not what it was.
Not what it was.
Let's be honest. Cookbooks today are more a marketing thing. It's more about your established cookbook writer. You have X number of books out. You can write books on these topics. It's a way of demonstrating to others that you've got that space. But I don't think that the majority of cookbooks that come out are designed as, hey, I'm going to make a couple $1 million on this thing, because you're probably not.
Is it because, stepping away, you had a really great time at the National High School Barbecue Association contest judging? I didn't even know that was a thing.
I honestly didn't know that much about it either. But I got a message on Facebook, like on a Friday night, from Stan Hayes saying that he would be in the relative area, saying, hey, anyone who wants to stop by, this is what we're doing. So I said, hey, that sounds like, interesting. I looked it up and realized that one of the people who'd be presenting at it was Chris Marks, who's, a friend from ever back.
Three Little Pigs.
And so I said, yeah, I can swing by. And I didn't go there thinking I was going to judge. I didn't sign up to judge. I got there. I walked through where the teams were competing. It looked very much like a barbecue competition, except it was filled with teenagers.
High school kids.
And high school kids. Yeah,
wow.
Right. Yeah. And, I went inside because it was 97 degrees out, and ran into Chris. We got talking for a couple of minutes, and a woman walked up to me, says, I don't know who you are, but I need a judge.
How dare her?
Can you do this? She's a teacher. She's with the school program. So, she's not like barbecue people. She's education people. I don't expect them to know who I am. So I'm like, sure, I can do that. So, went in and judged the ribs category for it.
What kind of meat are they turning out? Pretty good?
Yeah, actually quite impressive. It was a good judging experience. It's one of the best judging experiences I had in a while. The people that were judging were serious about what they were doing. Nobody had a cooler. Nobody had Ziploc bags. Nobody was there for a free meal. They were there to judge. It was not by, KCBS rules or anything like that. There was 8 people at our table judging 13 turn-ins. And they gave us half ribs.
Half ribs?
So we had half ribs.
What is that?
Well, the boxes came in with a bunch of ribs in them. We looked at them for presentation.
Yeah.
And then they cut them in half.
Like hacksaw?
With a PVC. No, with a PVC cutter. One of
No
those,
kidding.
like ratchet cutters that'll cut through PVC pipes.
Wow.
Worked pretty good. But, it's because they couldn't have, they did a double judging. So the top 5 from our table and the top 5 from another table then went to the final table to then be judged there. So they had to turn in a lot of ribs. And, honestly, if they said you're going to judge 13 full ribs, I'd be like, that's a lot of meat.
Yeah, right.
But no, it actually worked really well. And some of the teams were being the teams had coaches. These are the high school culinary programs, so, these kids are doing culinary programs in their high school. Part of that is to be on a barbecue team.
Huh.
And some of those, those teams then recruited, Stan Hayes was there as the coach for the team that his son is on.
Yeah.
So, but the turn-ins, several of them were, I would say high score KCBS quality.
Wow.
They would have done well in a big KCBS tournament, not
worth
just
the
a
time,
small one, but a big one. Oh yeah, no, and it was a lot of fun. It was a really good experience.
All right, well, good.
And it's an interesting program.
Yeah, it's National High School Barbecue Association, so maybe that's something that could be spreading out, not only from Texas, but perhaps across the country. Folks that aren't really interested in sport, maybe they like to cook.
Yeah, I think the 21 teams from Texas, Tootsie from out at Snow's Barbecue was actually coaching one of the teams.
Wow.
And then they had 5 from Missouri. And next year they've got programs launching in New York and Washington.
Wow.
And they're looking to branch out into pretty much anywhere they can. I think that their goal is to do next year's, championship, either like in maybe Kansas City or something like that.
So this is somebody I might want to track down and get on the show.
Yeah, Eric Mickelson. I can send you some contact information. I'm sure that. Yeah, I think you oughta, because I think that this is it's a really interesting program. As a matter of fact, some of the teams are sponsored, but a number of the teams were cooking on rigs made by the high school welding shop.
Wow. So all integrated.
So they actually had an award program for custom made rigs that were, made in the high school, welding shop and by kids. And, and that's cool because, you were walking around, there's custom rigs here. It's not just a whole bunch of off the shelf pellet grills running, a barbecue event.
Interesting. All right. We're talking with Derek Riches from DerekRiches.com. Derek, stand by and we'll be right back after we do a small piece of business via Primo Grills. By the way, we're definitely not getting through most of this agenda. I don't even know where it went off track. What do we love about ceramic cookers? I'm going to tell you. We love that they're fuel efficient. Yes, we love that they can achieve low and slow temperatures for traditional barbecue meats. Also, they can get rip-roaring hot for high-temperature grilling of steaks and other thin cuts. But what's missing in the everyday lineup of ceramic cookers? The ability to do true two-zone cooking. Two-zone cooking is important to both professional and backyard cooks alike. It's the best way to manage a fire and cook with confidence. However, getting a two-zone fire in a round ceramic cooker, not very realistic. Why? Because it's round. Enter Primo Grills and the game-changing oval design. The shape gives you the ability to execute the two-zone setup that you desire. It also gives you the other ceramic grill benefits as well. really, when you break it down, there's more than 60 different ways to cook on this thing, so you're only limited by your culinary imagination. If you're somebody that likes cookers but loves accessories even more for those cookers, Primo is right in line. They have a Primo Grill rotisserie item. They also have a pizza grill accessory. They have half drip pans. They have rib racks. They have the new top and bottom air dampers, the easy lift hinge now. Come on. You want accessories, they got accessories. More to come. Also, a live remote, I think it's August 13th, where I will have Nick Bauer from Primo Grill on at one of their big customer events or vendor events that they're going to be having. Location to be determined. So looking forward to doing that. Here's the bottom line. Best ceramics in the biz? Yes. Patented technology? Yes. True two-zone cooking capabilities? Yes. And look, if you just have to have a round ceramic cooker, they have those as well. I'm going to tell you this. Forget about it. Get the oval. That's what sets it apart. Be different. Visit primogrill.com to find a dealer near you so you can check it out in person. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram. Everybody is now ready for a Primo cooker. primogrill.com. We're back with more Derek Riches right after this. Stick around. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the BBQ Central Show, presented by the Ryder Deluxe Pellet Grills from Oklahoma Joe's. Howard Stern, Jim Rome, Dan Patrick, and Greg Rempe. The Mountain Rushmore of talk show entertainment. Now, let's get back to the BBQ Central Show.
This portion being brought to you by cookinpellets.com, your number one source for quality wood pellets for all your pellet-driven cookers. Visit cookinpellets.com for more information or to purchase or to see what other cool products they have to add a little smoky goodness to whatever protein it is that you are cooking. Rejoined by Derek Riches from DerekRiches.com. You did a pretty in-depth piece on something that everybody wants to be nowadays with this whole social media thing. You wrote it on becoming a barbecue ambassador. I believe in our outline I said influencer. Look, I don't even know where the hell all these terms came from. I thought I used to know how to define these terms, but then quickly I'm learning, well, influencer is different from ambassador, is different from spokesperson. So let's start at the top. Yeah, right. Pass that over, too, because I need to take the edge off. What exactly are there straight-up definitions for ambassador, spokesperson, and influencer? Those seems to be the biggest term.
There aren't any.
It's up to the person or whatever you want to call yourself?
Well, I refer to it as marketing or AKA bullshit. So I started kind of looking into this because I had some interactions with some people that were like, well, you know, we do these ambassadorship programs where we give you a discount ticket to buy our products to then promote them. And I'm like, that's not worth it. No, I won't. So I called Doug Scheiding. You know Doug, right?
Who?
You may him. Doug Scheiding? You ever heard of him? Okay, you can get him on one day. And we talked for quite a while, and he has this 4-level system. There's influencer, brand ambassador, sponsorship, and then consultant.
Consultant.
And yes. And that's what he says he is for some of the people that he works with.
Right.
So basically the way, and because these terms just get thrown out there, you know, it's like being an Instagram influencer was cool. And then being an Instagram influencer was just a scam. So everyone started saying they were brand ambassadors and, you know, I don't do this sort of work. So, but I wanted to kind of try and define some stuff and send a bit of a warning to people who I see on social media pushing products and saying, hey, I'm a brand ambassador for this. They will give me a free t-shirt if I can sell 200 units of their stuff. I'm like, Why are you? And it's frustrating. I mean, I encountered this a long time ago when people would say, "Hey, we will give you recognition if you'll write an article for our publication." And I'm like, I don't care about recognition. I don't eat recognition. It doesn't pay my bills. And I would be rude with them. And I think more people need to be rude with those sort of things. But digging into it, I found it's actually, if you're interested, that if your goal is to say, I've got some Instagram followers, I've got TikTok followers, I've got whatever followers, to a certain number, and it's not a specific number, it's whatever, and you want to somehow leverage that into a way of making money, getting someone to pay you to promote their product, you need to do a couple of things. First of all, you need to be actually real.
Like
we
a
have
human?
all seen, well, human is good. That's a plus. We have seen, you've seen Instagram accounts with 500,000 followers and they do barbecue, right?
Sure.
How many of those followers are real?
Depends on if they're bought or not.
Who knows? Yeah.
Right.
I mean, that's just it. But the people that do this sort of marketing professionally, I mean, the marketing firms, the influencer network systems, and the big corporations, they will look at your account and they'll go, no, you're not a real person. This isn't real. So be authentic, have a narrative, have a story. It's not just a matter of, hey, I like to cook briskets on Saturdays. It's why. It's about, what are you doing here? What's your journey? What's your story? What are you trying to get across to people? You can be I'm getting into and exploring. That won't take you too terribly far. You can be, whatever it is about you that makes you different from everyone else. That needs to be combined with what you're doing. And this is kind of a truth for whatever, for whatever it is you're marketing. If you're, in makeup, or you're in cars, or you're in whatever consumer goods space you want to be in, tell a story, be involved or active in things so that it draws attention, it gives that sense of authenticity, and then really only sign up with things that you can actually believe in, actually stomach. If you're doing, if you're pushing a product that you just hate, it's going to come off that way. You're going to have a very short career in this.
Sure.
So, I mean, that was kind of what I was trying to get at. But I was also kind of sending, I secretly was trying to send a message to a lot of these businesses, these people who are, I've got a line of rubs, I've got a line of sauces, I've got a line of this or that. And say, if you're going to have this relationship with people who are promoting your product, it needs to be a two-way relationship. And that's kind of what I try to get to in that. I will see people just go nuts trying to push a product, and then the brand themselves don't care. Well, I don't care what you say about our product. I don't care if you're promoting us. You shouldn't be promoting that product, because if you want to actually be an influencer, or whatever we're going to call it, it's a two-way street. You're pushing your brand by helping other people push their brands. And it should be done in a way that your audience isn't nauseated by. That's what that's what I'd really like to see. I mean, I am not a fan of advertising in any structure or form in any way. I have every type of ad blocking technology known to mankind to see as little of it as possible. But it's a thing. It exists. It's how people get the word out.
But certainly you would want to know about something cool. Maybe you wouldn't have known about something if Jack Arnold wouldn't have done something, or if this particular influencer that you followed. I certainly get the ad nauseum in your face stuff, but every once in a while I'm like, oh, I mean, this guy seems, or gal seems to be hawking every which thing. But that actually sounds pretty interesting. So then I'm hitting a website and maybe I'm buying it or whatever, but.
Yeah, and it's, I mean, to a certain extent, yeah, that's kind of what it is. And right now I'm sitting there thinking, did Primo really change their event structure? Do I need to go look at that?
They did.
Because I might want to look at that. And maybe they changed the way they did that, and that would be good.
Well, as you know, the top dampers were never, I'm going to say graduated. It was like, I think they used to tell you like a pencil width or 2 fingers width.
Yes.
Now it's been numbered and graduated, so you can just say stick it to 1 or 2 or 3, same thing on the bottom. The lift hinge, of course, so, they have made stuff. There you go.
And thanks to you, I put a note down here to go look at that.
Right.
So, I mean, it has a place, and that's just it. It has a place, but it needs to be a relationship that works for people. And
did you get any feedback from folks? Like, hey, you're coming at me, or I didn't think about that. Great info.
I had a lot of people. I had a lot of people in marketing. For some reason, there's a lot of people in the barbecue marketing world that work at the companies kind of come back and go, yeah, I really wish I could say this sort of stuff to people.
Yeah.
So there's that. So, I think it's beneficial from that standpoint.
I mentioned this on Pit Life Barbecue. I was a guest on their show a week ago. And the only thing I wanted to get out and push was knowing your value within this industry. And it kind of echoes the similar sentiment that you're talking about. If you're somebody that has a decent following, forget about the free product stuff. Like that's something they have built into a budget, or it's accounted for. Or it's not hurting them in any way. Ask for money. Get the product and get money, because if you are, however big your following is, if you have influence over there, they're going to make sales, and you shouldn't be given some BS commission percentage that amounts to a hill of beans over the course of a year. You should know what your worth is. You should know what your reach is, especially if you have a good following. Like if you have 1 million followers or something like that.
Absolutely.
And, but again, that goes back to a little bit of business acumen. It goes back to people not feeling comfortable asking for money. That's difficult, uncomfortable for people to ask for. Not for me, but it is for a lot of folks, and they don't know how to go about it. And so they just don't learn, or they don't ask somebody to help them, and they just take a grill, or they take a year's supply of rub or whatever, and they think it's great. But I say no. I say
no.
We've had too much free shit in this industry, and now it's time to start raising the bar and saying, you're going to compensate me for my time and effort, and you're going to give me the stuff as well. And if not, pound salt.
Yeah, and no, you're absolutely right. And people who will do stuff for free product, kind of like, where does that take you? You don't go anywhere with that. You end up with boxes of stuff.
Yeah.
As a person, I mean, I have made a profession out of reviewing grills and smokers and that sort of thing for the last 2 decades. And that means a lot of stuff has shown up. So when I get that email saying, hey, would you like to test out our product? My mind goes to, I have to deal with the logistics of receiving and disposing of something that could weigh hundreds of pounds.
Yeah.
And people go, oh, wow, poor you. But when you don't have room in your house anymore because of the stuff, take the cash. And the hardest question for people to answer is, how much is your time worth?
Right.
How much would it cost me to pay for 2 hours of your time? People freak out about that question. And I always say, go high. If they say no, fine. If they say yes, you now have an idea of what someone will pay for you.
Right.
So when it comes to this sort of influencer stuff or brand ambassadorship or something like that, you should be paid. If you've got something to sell, it's worth money, not stuff.
Go read the article, by the way, DerekRiches.com. If you haven't, a great read. And our pal Doug, who'll be in next hour, is a reference in that article as well. Last question before I let you go. We're out of time and we have plenty of stuff to get to still, but we won't. A few years ago, I don't know if you recall, there was this product called the Weber Smokefire. It hit the ground, not running, and it was the roast of any kind of social media group or party to... it was really a fire all on its own. However, recently I've been seeing something that I'm hope you may or may not be able to confirm. Is there a new Smokefire out or a version 2 Smokefire out that's just supposed to be vastly better and they just haven't made anywhere near the fanfare?
Okay, so Smokefire came out, it had problems. They sent kits to fix the problems. Version 2 incorporates the kit that fixed the problems. That was a change to the way the pellet hopper works so that the pellets would actually reach the auger and not just sit there. And some of the interior design. Now, there is a new version that became available this year, and that is Smokefire Stealth.
Stealth. You can't even see it.
It's invisible.
That's right.
It's right. Now, if you paid any attention, last year Napoleon came out with the Napoleon Phantom, which was a matte black finish gas grill. Looked cool as hell and had like all sorts of cool lighting and stuff. Really cool looking product. So Stealth is a matte black finish, no chrome version of Smokefire with the Weber crafted accessory system built into it, so you can buy more accessories. And it's only $300 more to not get the stainless steel chromed finish and to get an accessory module for you to buy stuff on.
Wow.
And that's where they are right now.
And it was just kind of dumped out, not heavily promoted at all.
No, but they
didn't want the headache?
I have absolutely no idea, but this is an explanation of that soaring stock price.
Well, I mean, they're twice as much as Traeger is right now.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Twice as much as almost nothing is still almost nothing.
Yeah, so I've been told. My basic Kenston High School math tells me that you are 100% correct on that. All right, well...
75% of 100%.
That's right, is 25% correct. DerekRiches.com is the website. You can find his musings there. You can find him here once a month. And I always appreciate the time and the insight. Man, we pulled 2 segments like it was nothing, and we still have plenty to get to for the next time. So luckily it's evergreen content, so don't worry, folks. It's not going to be old by the time we get to it. And we will see you in July.
All right, see you then.
All right, happy 4th. There he is. Derek Riches right there. So if you want to know how to be a ambassador or an influencer or all that, head on over to DerekRiches.com. Take the read. Also contact Doug. Evidently, he's taking interviews. So for months, I've been talking about my guy, David McDowell, over at the Do Wellness program for us barbecue guys. And I told you I contacted him a couple weeks ago. Well, guess what? Week number 1 is here. We had our big call on Saturday. We did a lot of background. We got some initial weights. We got some, what do you like to eat? What do you cheat with? What do you don't cheat with? Are you a drinker? Are you a smoker? All that stuff. Big background. That's great. And then within 48 hours, right as the week was beginning to hit, I got a custom spreadsheet that we share personally between us. Had to take some pictures. Had to send those along for a little evaluation, and then along came back a meal plan. Meal 1, meal 2, meal 3. This is what you can do if you don't have this. This is what you can do. Now, what have I been telling you in these reads? You have access to him literally almost 24/7 through text messages, through emails. So we're going out for dinner tonight. I'm not going to have the chicken that I have normally for after I've started here, right? I sent him a copy of the menu. I sent him a link. I said, here's where I'm going for dinner tonight. What are the best options? And he shot back top 3 or 4 things to do and said, by the way, only ask for half of this, or don't get any of that, or see if you can sub this for that to keep you as healthy as possible. Knocked it right out of the park. No problem. Filled out my spreadsheet, and I'm ready to go tomorrow. And getting the training
Michigan
in.
Embedded Correspondent John Solberg.
All right. I went long. Hold on. Everybody just calm down. Hold on. Everybody calm down. Okay. I'll get to that here in just a second. Nobody's going anywhere. My fault. So, I'm doing it right now, 2 days in. Do it with me. We can share our successes together if you want. This is going to be great. Now, my palate's a little different. I'm literally that guy that can have the same thing for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So my meal plans were pretty basic because I can deal with that. Maybe you can't. David can accommodate that as well. Sign up right now. davidleans.com/BBQ. That's davidleans.com/BBQ. And sign up right now. Do it along with me. I'm only 2 days in. You can start next week. You'll only be a week behind me. And then we will track progress from here. I told him I'd do it. He can practice on me. We can prove it out right here in front of everybody. davidleans.com. That's davidleans.com. We are back to wrap the first hour. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Continuing to produce incredibly mediocre content in an exceptionally professional way. You're listening and watching the BBQ Central Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
I have no idea what happened there in the transitions, but that board got all screwed up. But we're back on track now. This portion of the show being brought to you by Fireboard. Monitor up to 6 different temperatures simultaneously. Connect to Wi-Fi for cloud-based monitoring or connect via Bluetooth. If you have Alexa or the Google Assistant in your home, you're in luck. Fireboard fully integrated with both. Find out more by visiting fireboard.com or call 816-945-2232. That's Fireboard 2, Fireboard 2 Drive, and Fireboard 2 Pro, and the Fireboard Spark. We should have Ted Conrad on here fairly shortly, so we can do a new segment with him. All right, we are into the second hour right now. We'll do a abridged way out, and then we'll come right back with the second hour. You're listening and watching the BBQ Central Show, brought to you by the Oklahoma Joe's Rider DLX Pellet Grills Hotline. Stick around, we'll be right back.
This is Michigan Embedded Correspondent John Solberg, and you are listening to the BBQ Central Show.
Happy to have you aboard here for the really big barbecue show.
Boing.
We cook because we have to, and we grill because we want to.
Hit me.
Fine, how's it going?
You have a great show. I'm a big fan.
Boing.
So what seems to be the problem here? This man looks like he's dead, and he's in the crackle.
Charbono! It's all about the charbono, dude!
Succulent fish. What?
He ate 2 feet for wieners.
Oh, listen, Lavernius, shut your face.
I'm shaking like a dog shit peach seeds.
We have top men working on it right now. Top men.
And we are into the second hour. Welcome aboard. It's the BBQ Central Show, talking about live fire, barbecue, and grilling stuff, and doing it from
Palm City, USA, Cleveland.
If you missed the first hour, don't worry about it. We're recording. You can get that first hour on Wednesday. You can get the second hour of the show on Thursday. I'll tell you about Friday here in just 1 second. Thanks to Derek Riches for joining me in the first hour and pulling 2 interview segments. I thought we might bleed over into the second one, but no, we took it all fully. Good for us. By the way, I still have it on good authority that the youngest Barbecue Central show fan ever in existence, my nephew Joey Clota, still watching. Joey, what up? Still to come on the show tonight, the Embedded Correspondents in about 10 minutes from now. And then after the Embedded Correspondents segment, we will turn around and do the finals of Season 3 Barbecue Central Show's American Idol edition, where Rusty Monson from the great city of Utah and myself will be singing our hearts out for you. That will happen shortly, so stay tuned for that. After the show ends tonight, voting opens up, and you will vote for either me or Rusty. You don't even have to go 1 and then 2, just the winner. Whoever you think the winner is, you will vote for that person. I will tally all the way through the week, and then next Tuesday, we will announce who the overall champ for Season 3 of Barbecue Central Show's American Idol will be. Don't forget, you can follow me socially at BBQ Central Show on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Snapchat, /BBQ Central Show on Facebook and Twitch for a video feed. Also, /RD Rempe on YouTube for a video feed as well. And yes, we are audibly on Clubhouse if you would rather take us in that way. And you can get an ad-free podcast feed experience through through Apple Podcasts. So if that's what you use to listen, you don't like ads, subscribe to that. Here we go. That's probably going to be going away as well here shortly. It's just a pain in the ass. Coming up on the best moments of the Barbecue Central show in 10 minutes or less this Friday, episode 235, taking you back to June 26, 2012. So just a shade over 10 years ago. 10 years ago! If you can believe it, being featured this week is one of my favorites, Diva Q, Danielle Bennett. Within the moment, we go in depth in breaking down the time she was a contestant on Barbecue Pit Masters. Ironically, Derek Riches and I just talking about that last hour and where Barbecue Pit Masters was a popularity or not. However, Diva Q was on there. We talk about her whole time there. Meathead, by the way, was also writing a column at that point. This is how big the show was. This is how popular it was. Meathead from AmazingRibs.com was contracted by the Huffington Post to write a weekly review of Barbecue Pit Masters. That was 10 years ago. That's how popular everything was back then. Can you believe it? You don't even see that now, but that's what was going on, by the way. So she broke everything down, everything that happened on the set all records straight. This is why people love Danielle, because she gives it to you straight. This is why people don't like Danielle. It's straight shooting, no bullshit. And that tune hasn't changed over the almost 20 years I've known her. And by the way, if the thing that endears me most of all to her is the no BS. So on the off chance that you aren't familiar with Diva Q, there would be no better intro to her than this episode coming up this Friday. Remember, you do have to be subscribed to the podcast feed in order to get it. If you are local, I'm hoping to get that MC to the Hartville Hardware Grill Fest again gig. That comes up in September. I have some developing news as it relates to who is also going to be there, but stay tuned for that. I know Danielle is going to be there, but I'm hearing some other folks that I know within the Buckeye State, pretty big names in the live fire industry. So stay tuned for some breaking news on that. Once I get my deal worked out, then I'll start to promote, but nothing before then. No. Get that big stuff out of here. I know my value, as Derek and I just talked about. Don't forget, if you have a guest or segment that you found particularly funny or insightful, you would like to hear it again, send John an email. He puts the shows together, JON at thebbqcentralshow.com and let them know you would like to hear. Upcoming shows in July, because this is the last show in June, if you can believe it. We're halfway through the year now. Larry Olmsted for the first time, writer extraordinaire. Jonathan Jones, also a first-timer on the show, a live fire cook. He'll be on. BBQ Hall of Famer Leanne Whippen will be in towards the end of July to talk about getting in and perhaps doing a origin story there, but I have some logistics to work out because that show is pretty much booked full. Jess Pryles will be in for her quarterly segment. She's off doing some kind of a meat tour over in Europe. I think she was in Greece the last time I saw pictures of her on social, so that'll be fun to catch up with. Sam the Cooking Guy, Malcolm Reed, will be in next week. Just to wet your whistle on upcoming shows in the month of July. And by the way, I know I referred to it at the top of the show with some listener feedback emails, but I do want to mention, if you missed the John Marcus interview from 2 weeks ago, I encourage you to check it out. Even if you are new to the show right now, you have no idea about the history of the business over the past 15 years, it won't matter. John was an exceptional guest. His story was incredibly fascinating, painful, inspiring, and the flood of reaction that I have gotten over the past 2.5 weeks has been shocking. Easily the most reacted to interview I have ever done. Easily the most I have heard, that was the best interview you have ever done, coming from the listeners. There were a lot of great things going on in there, holding the pee break to the side, of course, but please be sure to check it out at your convenience when you have time. And again, it's a 2-hour listen. But the likes of Meathead, who's always at his desk and always working, sent me a note saying, I actually pushed back from the desk on that one so I could just listen to it. That's saying something. Plus all of you saying that it's the best ever. Listen to the John Marcus interview. Check it out. Well, we're only one segment away from Rusty and I flexing our live singing muscles. I'm saying that with a straight face. Or I was. But before we do that, we'll get to the Embedded Correspondents. Yoder Smokers is making and building all of their products right here in the States, and building pride through craftsmanship and world-class customer service is the backbone of how they've built this company. The approach translating into what can be a truly bespoke style product that elevates gatherings with friends and family, honored to have a trusted place in the backyards of America. From pellet grills to wood-fueled offset pits and charcoal grills, consistent blue ribbon flavor has become synonymous with the Yoder Smokers name. Make no mistake, Yoder Smokers' flavor-driven design is unique to each style of pit and will perform time and time again while outlasting the competition for generations to come. It's this generational thought that is rooted in the handmade products and defines the integrity of the core values. American-made quality, endless flavor, the benchmarks of Yoder Smokers. Visit yodersmokers.com to grab yours today. I see 2/3 of the Embedded Correspondents. John was dicey from the beginning, but we'll see if he makes it in. And we will get to them here in just 1 second. You are listening and watching the BBQ Central Show from the Oklahoma Joe Pellet Grills Rider DLX Studios. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Howard Stern, Jim Rome, Dan Patrick, and Greg Rempe. The Mountain Rushmore of talk show entertainment. Now, let's get back to the BBQ Central Show.
Welcome back. This portion of the show is being brought to you by Pit Barrel Cooker, the most unbelievable outdoor cooking device on the planet, currently available in 3 sizes with a host of accessories. Whether you are a beginner or a professional, definitely a cooker you want to add to the arsenal. Visit pitbarrelcooker.com and tell them the BBQ Central Show sent you. It is the 4th Tuesday of the month. Wow. Like, what is even going on here? Hold on a second, Kay. Oh. All right, let's do this. Burning precious time in the Embedded Correspondence segment because now I got to go reload. What happened? How did this get all jammed up? Live read to. Oh. Stand by. Here we go. Why is that there? Oh, my Lord. Well, this is going to be a travesty. Nevertheless, something has happened to the board. I'm going to have to go back and restructure it after the show, but we will continue to press on as I guess I'm going to have to go manual, but nevertheless, here they are in no particular order. The Embedded Correspondents right there. Doug Scheiding is off to my direct right if you're looking at the top, and John Solberg from Michigan is right below me in a completely different new space, and the just caddy corner down to the right is none other than Rusty Monson from the great city of Utah, and we're happy to have them with us here. Gents, apologize for whatever technical issues I'm having, but we'll work through that here, and that will certainly not impede Season 3's finale, which is coming up in about 20 minutes from now, which I'm sure all of us are looking forward to, especially the live singing part. That should go over really well. And before we do that, we, of course, have an Embedded Correspondence segment that we would like to get to, and we will start it out as we do with each and every Embedded Correspondence segment, which is going to the 100% Assurtiy Questions. So I'm racing over to the clubhouse to pick up somebody to answer these along with us. Now, if you would recall, we did not do these last month. Why? Because we were busy, as I was talking with Derek Riches from DerekRiches.com last hour. We were busy picking people to be in the BBQ Hall of Fame, who we thought would be in the BBQ Hall of Fame. And lo and behold, John Solberg from Michigan and myself were 75% right. Look at us, John. We're pretty smart. However, upon further review, it seems two people were a little smarter than us, John, and that's all on the right side of the screen, that being Doug Scheiding and Rusty Monson. Look at these guys. Smarty pantses to the highest degree. And I guess, Doug, you want to make an acceptance speech on being totally right?
Yeah, it's been a long time since our group has come through like this, and
has it ever been a time where we've been that good?
No, we have never done that. No.
Wow, it's great. Rusty, you feel pretty good about being 100% right, I would assume.
Yeah. First of all, you said in no particular order, yet I'm still down in the fucking corner all the time, and that's number one. Number two, I don't know. I'm just a man. I'm not a hero. Just
Rusty, I have bad news. That mic is not working.
How about now?
That's why you put him in the corner.
I can hear you, but it must be coming through your monitor mic or something. It's
interesting.
Tap on that microphone. Let's make sure. Yeah, 100%. That is not working. So let's review. Rusty creams the host for sticking him in the corner. Rusty still has no idea how to use a microphone. And that's why Rusty remains in the corner. So, no, you're probably going to have to eject out and then come back in for any changes. And we'll go from there. Look who we have here. We have Guy Chisholm, who will be joining us for the 100% Assurtiy Questions. Let's make sure he's there and I'm not running into technical difficulties on this side as well. Guy, you're there? No, he's not there. All right, don't go anywhere. I can fix this because I learned how to do this already. Wow, I mean, what a nightmare this whole second hour is turning out to be.
John, are you here?
Man, oh man. Yeah, John, are you here? Yes, he's there. Yep, you're there.
He's there.
All right. Tap, tap.
And awake. Very proud of you.
All right. Guy, you're there? No, I got to invite him on stage. Thank God it's not Sam the cooking guy, because he would be annihilating me at this point. I thought I fixed this. Go ahead.
Hello?
No. All right. All right, Rusty. That's good. That's the right one there. Congrats. I need you to sound at your level best for next segment.
I agree.
We can't having you, sound like
Oh,
you're
it's going to
singing
sound
off
exactly
of
the same no matter what. Doesn't matter.
No, this will sound better, worse, or worse, or better. But it certainly won't sound like you're singing off a Mac integrated microphone. So, all right. Well, bad news for the Clubhouse people. I'm not going to be dicking around with this. I thought I could fix it. I didn't fix it, but nevertheless, away we go. Let's do 100% Assurtiy picks. Just us gals, because that's how we like to do it. And we'll start with Doug Scheiding, the longest-running embedded correspondent from Texas. Doug, 100% yes or 100% no as we look back all the way to May, because time has... Oh, I'm sorry, that's not the right question. 100% yes or 100% no. An induction side burner is more useful on a grill than an air fryer.
This is rhetorical. Absolutely.
Ooh. All right. I thought you were going to say something else there for a second. I was getting ready to hit the dump button. John, 100% yes or 100% no. An induction side burner more useful on a grill than an air fryer.
1,000% yes.
Oh, 1,000. Okay. Rusty, 100% yes or 100% no. An induction side burner more useful on a grill than an air fryer.
100% yes.
Wow. I'm feeling a little peer pressure here. My answer is going to be yes. I love, I don't want to say gimmickiness of an air fryer. And by the way, air fryers, hugely popular. Well, I want to say it doesn't make sense to have a big-ass air fryer next to a grill. It does make sense. But in the end, I do think that a burner is probably going to get a little bit more use. But we only have the rest of the year, gang, to figure out if we were wrong or not. And luckily, this year has proven us to be more right than wrong. However, I am seeing some comments in the chat saying, hey, the air fryer is a pretty cool piece of technology. So we'll see how it works out from there. Next question. Rusty, 100% yes or 100% no. And we have to look back now in May as we answer this question. Blues Hog winning Memphis in May is the coup of the competition world to date.
In the all of history of barbecue, 100% yes.
Oh, all right. That's a lot of barbecue. John, biggest coup to date.
100% no. Not.
All right.
Get that big stuff out of here.
Doug, 100% yes or 100% no. Blues Hog winning Memphis in May, the coup of the competition world to date.
I wanted to say no, and I went back and looked at some of the winners, especially with Memphis in May, and I could not. So I'm saying yes.
Oh, all right. And Sean Reed is in here this evening as well. Good to see Sean Reed. For me, is it the coup of the competition world to date, all things considered? Yeah, 100%. And it might be going on years of coup. Top 5 in ribs, first ever Memphis in May, winning shoulder the following year, and I think finishing 3rd overall, and then winning it this year in a huge drum and whole hog on top of it, kicking a lot of perennials in the teeth. To me, that's a coup. John, did you have a specific thought on what might be bigger coup or coups?
I wanted to be the odd man out, knowing that the rest of you were going to go that way, so I just thought I'd be contrarian.
John is a bastard. Safety director.
John's back.
100% yes or 100% no. John, booking a segment on the show and then not showing up on purpose will become a thing in order to gain the favor of show karma.
I'm going to say 100% no, or at least, God, I hope it's 100% no.
Rusty, 100% yes or 100% no. Shining on the show on purpose will gain favor for show karma.
First of all, it's the dumbest thing ever. I hate when people do that more than anything. But yeah, apparently it works really well.
You think that's going to be a thing?
I think it could be. Yeah, it could be the rabbit's foot of barbecue competitions.
Doug, 100% yes or 100% no. Booking a segment on this show and then not showing up on purpose will become a thing in order to get the show karma.
No way. They fear the wrath of Rempy.
Look, sometimes in this world we have things called an anomaly. This was an anomaly. That is not going to be a thing. And if it starts to become a thing, I will make it not a thing. To all you. All right, let's go to Rusty. 100% yes or 100% no. Burgers on menu at barbecue joints, at least in Texas, will become a permanent thing.
Yes, absolutely.
Doug, burgers on menus at barbecue joints in Texas will become a permanent thing.
Yes. High margin.
High margin, all right. Seeing something bloom here. John, 100% yes or 100% no. Burgers on the menu at barbecue joints, at least in Texas, will become a permanent thing.
I'm going with Doug. Yes, high margin.
Okay. All right. Not to not answer yet, but Doug, is it high margin just because of current times, or does it matter economic times that we're in now? High margin ongoing regardless.
Yeah, I think it's high margin regardless because, I mean, you can charge more at a barbecue. And I think it's a good option for some people. My wife actually loves burgers and she gets tired of barbecue and she would love to have a good burger. So that would actually be a preferred thing for her.
All right, 100% yes or 100% no for me. Burgers on menus of barbecue joints, at least in Texas, will become a permanent thing. Nope. I don't care about margins. That will not become a permanent thing. It's a fad right now, and it will die by the end of the year. Last question. We'll go back to Doug. 100% yes or 100% no. From purely an aesthetic standpoint, food trucks are cooler than food trailers.
100% no. Food trucks get dirty after 3 months.
John, food trucks are cooler than food trailers.
100% no. Absolutely not.
All right. As if I didn't know. Rusty, 100% yes or 100% no. Food trucks are cooler than food trailers.
Hell no. And go to Southern Dimensions trailers and check them out if you disagree.
For me, 100% yes or 100% no. Food trucks cooler than food trailers? Yes, they're mobile. All self-contained. They're cool. Something just opened up downtown Willoughby called The Yard. I don't know what the hell that is. Sounds like something you got to be young to enjoy. But the food trucks are there, not trailers. They're all food trucks. They got the food truck thing over in Lakewood, right over by the Proper Pig Smokehouse, where a veritable cornucopia rotated in and out. But all food trucks, no trailers. So for me, no offense, Rusty, food trucks are cooler in that regard. But I'm really hoping to eat at your trailer sometime. So we got 6 minutes left. I tasked the Embedded Correspondents and me to do something maybe none of us wanted to do. Maybe all of us wanted to do, but unless you don't own a television or some type of streaming service that wasn't being paid by Arby's over the last handful of months. And by the way, it was a raging success because the commercials that I'm seeing from Arby's now are saying the sold out Wagyu burger, and now they're offering 2 other items at 50% off for the rest of the summer. I don't know if this is the same where you guys are or not, but I said, hey, Embedded Correspondents, go out and get this Wagyu burger that Ving Rhames is voicing over for Arby's, and let's see what this is all about. Is it just a burger? Is it going to be a life-changing fast food burger? Are they saying Wagyu potentially illegally just to draw people in and sell product? So we will start with somebody who I know loves love from the great city of Utah, Rusty Monson. Your official review of the Arby's Wagyu burger.
First of all, so excited that we got to do this because, as you may or may not know, I do love Arby's, as you had mentioned. And when it comes to, and let me clarify, burgers of its kind, All right. I'm not talking about going to Lucky 13 or your favorite local hip burger shop. I'm talking about going to all of the chain stores. It is by far the best one. And it was really good. In fact, I went back to get them twice just to make sure that I got it right. And plus, I had an excuse. But I thought they were fantastic. I loved the flavor. It was awesome. Like that, I legitimately loved them. I mean that. I mean, better than the McRib. Better than the McRib.
Wow, that is saying something. That people might be thinking that's a tongue-in-cheek joke reference. That is no joke. That is 100% serious.
Get that big stuff out of here.
Doug, your thoughts on the Wagyu?
Rusty said a pretty low bar being better than the McRib, so there's a lot of headroom there, I'd say.
Agreed.
Does the average person know that what Wagyu is? I'm saying no. I went.
But have they heard
it? Yeah.
You think they've heard Wagyu?
I'm not sure. The average person that's going through a drive-through and not Lucky 13 like in Salt Lake City has heard of it. But I think the mix is 52-48 anyway. So it's 52% Wagyu allegedly. But it was a nice size. So it was, 6 to 7 ounces. So it was actually a pretty thick patty. Mine was cooked pretty well. It was actually just a little pink in the center.
Oh.
The burger was actually pretty good for the bites that I didn't have gobs and gobs and gobs of Thousand Island Arby sauce. That just ruined it for me. And it's not like Taco Bell mild sauce, which you can put on anything and love it. No, Rusty, it's not like this. It's like, no, get it off of that. And so from that, it could have been better at $8.11. It's pretty expensive, I would say, and too much Arby sauce, and I'm not a fan of Arby sauce anyway. So, no.
John, your thoughts of the Arby's Wagyu burger?
I think the burger, understanding it is what it is. It's a fast food burger. The burger itself, I had two different stores to try to spread it out. One was cooked well. It was a little moist. One was dry. I think the burger itself is overworked, has an overworked texture. And for me, the sauce was a little bit off-putting. It's hard to get to it. It was dripping. It's running. You're not going to grab that. You got to pull over. You got to get some napkins. It was a bit messy. As a matter of fact, I actually couldn't get much of the taste of the burger in either of the varieties I tried, just because I think there was too much sauce on there as well. But all in all, I'll give it a 6 or 7 out of 10 in total value for fast food burgers.
Oh, for fast food burgers. Well, give it the show value from 1 to 10. 10 being the best thing you've ever eaten in your life.
Oh, it can't hit the scale. We're talking like a -4. Give me a McDouble over that any day, and I probably, would be better off.
I had the classic version. I had them go light sauce in fear that they were going to oversauce it because they don't really care how they're constructing the burger, and that's what the commercial makes you think, like they actually care. I was unsure that the blend was even that much Wagyu. I think the burger should be more expensive than that, so I actually question that, although I have no ability to take them to task on the actual percentages. Look, this is as average a burger as you're going to get, and at least in this region, and again, I don't know how they're promoting it where you guys are in Texas, Utah, and Michigan, but they sold out here. So they're discounting other things to keep people coming in. But then in the beginning of the commercial, they're saying what a raging success it was, and we sold out. Swenson's, which I have panned profusely on the show over the last few months, which is a local chain here, is just as good for $5 less. You can get roughly the same size burger, roughly the same size satisfaction, and not have to deal with this Wagyu nonsense. Arby should be sticking to the core business of bad roast beef, bad cold sandwiches, and all that other crap, and not try and stiffen it up with burgers, let alone Wagyu burgers. So I think we have 1 love and 3 passes, and that's it. Look, all this is nonsense, gang, because we have the American Idol Barbecue Central show's final coming up here, so stay tuned for that. I'll do one piece of business here leading into it as I tell everybody about Green Mountain Grills, of course, which is a highly coveted line of cookers, pellet cookers. So if you want to get a pellet cooker, go to greenmountaingrills.com, find a dealer near you because they're only sold through dealers. So you have to visit and see them in person, get taught, get learned. Then, once you figure out which one is best for you, you have the knowledge, you're going to have success right off the bat. You have a choice line to choose from. You have a prime line to choose from. Peak and Ledge are the leaders there in the prime. Now, if you want something that is a little bit more portable, the Trek is also one that you want to take a look at. You can actually power it from the 12-volt receptacle in your vehicle. Or you can bring a car battery. It's got little clippers that you can power it. Number of different ways. 12-volt technology, it's the finest. It's efficient. It's managing those pellets the best way possible. And if you want to save some money, get a choice line cooker. The Choice and the Prime accommodate the pizza oven insert, which you're going to want to get. We used it 2 days in a row, I think, baking high-heat pizzas. It's great. You'll use it all the time. You can use it to cook steaks even. You can use it to cook Wagyu burgers if you want. GreenMountainGrills.com is a leading retailer of pellet cookers. I have 2 in my backyard right now. If you want to stop by and take a look at them, go ahead. Let me know. I'll show them to you. GreenMountainGrills.com. That's GreenMountainGrills.com. We are back for Season 3 finale of Barbecue Central Show's American Idol. Stick around. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Barbecue Central Show, presented by the Ryder Deluxe Pellet Grills from Oklahoma Joe's. Whole packers, full racks, legs and thighs, injecting butts. If you've never heard this before, you might think you found the best XXX show ever. Let's get back to the most homoerotic host out there today, Greg Rempe.
Welcome back. This portion of the show being brought to you by Smithfield. Head on over to smithfield.com right now for tips and tricks from well-known live fire cooks like Darren Worth, Just Pryles, Childs Cridlin. Mouth-watering flavor, no artificial ingredients. Smithfield Fresh Pork is quite simply some of the finest pork money can buy and the trusted choice of top cooks for use at competitions and at home. So check out your recipes there. Well, 4 months later, gang. 4 months later, we are ready to go. Oh, no. This is a travesty. All right, hold on. On the fly, on the fly. Virtual set. Stand by, got to bring everybody up here. Humble apologies, humble apologies. Box 1. Wow. What a nightmare. All right, give me a second. Greg Main. Box 2. Just 1. Box 3. Just 2. Box 4. Just 3. Box 5. Jose. And box 6 is the in-camera studio. Oh, all right. We did it. Okay. Wow. Hell in a handbasket doesn't even begin to describe what's going on here, but that's all right. So it seems we have everybody here this evening. We have Doug still to the right of me, and then John is just to the right of Doug. Rusty's below me. There's the lead singer of 3 Years Hollow and our professional judge sitting in all season, Jose Urquiza. right there below Doug. And then, of course, we have Bobby and Maddie here in studio as Willis is currently MIA babysitting, but if she gets in here before the end, she can sit in and judge. So, no, she's definitely not. All right, she's not going to come back, so we'll have two.
This is on.
Yeah.
I'm saying she's not allowed. She's late. She can't come back.
She can't come back?
No.
All right.
No late
She's
people.
being punished. No late people. You're either on time or you're out of time. She's out of time. All right, so here's what's happening tonight. We have a pre-recorded song that Rusty and I sang. We would call it perhaps a duet. I always think of duets as people singing at the same time, but I guess that's not necessarily the case. Rusty, you're the one that picked this song. We went back and forth on a number of selections. All of your choices were crap, and somehow we picked this one. Why this song before we play?
Well, when I was growing up, Ozzy Osbourne was like my favorite. And then when I was in karaoke, when I got drunk enough, I would sing this song with my friend Cammie. And this is the song we would sing together. And I just always had fun with it. And so I thought of it. I was like, you know what? Let's do this. That'd be fun. Islands in the Stream was better, but this is as good.
No, definitely not Islands in the Stream. So tonight, for our pre-produced or our recorded effort before we go live, the mega hit, I think it was early to mid 80s, Close My Eyes Forever, Lita Ford, hell of a guitar player and rocker, and Ozzy Osbourne. John, you're familiar with the song, of course? Yes, all right. Doug, of course, is. Jose, is this a song you're familiar with by chance? Yes, all right. And Bobby and Maddie, have you ever heard of Close Your Eyes Forever by Lita Ford and Ozzy Osbourne? Neither. Okay, so it's new for some and reminiscent for others. Before we get into the live singing, and remember, we need a winner from the judges here tonight on who sang the duet better, because loser goes first, winner goes last in the live singing. So, without any further ado, here is our version of Close My Eyes, Your Eyes? Close My Eyes Forever.
Baby, I get so scared inside and I don't really understand. Is it love that's on my mind or is it fantasy?
Heaven is in the palm of my hand and it's waiting here for you. What am I supposed to do with a childhood tragedy? If I close my eyes forever, will it all remain unchanged? If I close my eyes forever, will it all remain the same? Sometimes it's hard to hold on, so hard to hold on to my dreams. It isn't always what it seems when you're face to face with me.
You're like a dagger, you stick me in the heart, taste the blood from my blade. And when we sleep, would you shelter me in your warm and dark grave? If I close my eyes forever, will it all remain unchanged? If I close my eyes forever, will it all remain unchanged?
just can't take the pain.
Would you ever trust me?
No, I'll never feel the same. Oh.
I know I've been so hard on you. I know I told you lies. If I could have just one more wish, I'd wipe the cobweb from my eyes. If I close my eyes forever, will it all remain unchanged? If I close my eyes forever, will it all remain the same?
Close your eyes. Close your eyes. You gotta close your eyes for me.
Wow. I think that's what they call an epic. When I was mixing that song and putting that song together, it didn't seem nearly as long as it did suffering through every sheer second of it live and in person. People in the chat room going, Lord, make it stop. Please, why are you punishing us? Things like this. I wish I had a pair of hate blockers like Rusty is immediately put on, but that's all right. So let's go ahead and get after it. Ladies in the studio, the recorded song is now finished. Your thoughts on the performance, and then who do you think was the better singer? Go ahead, Maddie. It's on.
It's on. I thought that it was good. Rusty, there could have been a little bit more energy. It kind of just sounded like you were talking like this. And Dad, I think you did good. You held out on some of those notes really good. A little bit surprising, but I think you did good. You guys both did a good job.
Who wins?
You.
All right. Bobby?
It was good. It was a little bit not good at times. I agree with Maddie. Rusty sounded a little monotone, and Dad, there was a couple times I thought you sounded like an old lady. But I think you win because there was that one note you held out for a long time.
All right. 2 for me. Let's go to the longest running embedded correspondent from Texas, Doug Scheiding. Your thoughts on our effort of Close My Eyes Forever?
That was quite a horse race, and I mean horse race. Greg, you sounded a little hoarse, but you were able to hit some of the high notes, which was very interesting to me. And Rusty, I think you were right in there until the last segment. So my vote is for Greg.
All right. So that makes me
in a close one. Very close one.
I think that makes me the winner right now, so I'll be going second. But nevertheless, let's keep going. John, your thoughts on our Lita Ford, Ozzy Osbourne effort?
Hey, I got to say, right out of the gate, you mixed that. I need to compliment you on the mix. If you did that, that was really that's the best. That's the best mix we've had on this show since I was knocked out, hands down. And I will also say you complimented Rusty. I think you did a better job on Rusty's track than yours. So that was a good mix. Thanks. It's a toss-up. Since you are already going to be the clear and present winner, I am going to roll with Rusty because Rusty's always been a fan of mine. He's always supported me, and loyalty is loyalty there. I'm going to go with Rusty.
All right. It doesn't matter what any of you guys think. It only matters what the real professional singer thinks. We go to Jose or Quiza. Your thoughts on our recorded effort, Close Your Eyes Forever?
Based on efforts, I think you would be equal if it were based on efforts, but I do have to give it to Greg. I gotta give it to Greg on this one. However, fantastic job. I was jamming out over here to that song, so thanks for that.
Jose, I attempted what they call a falsetto in points. Is that something that you were easily able to pick out, or was that a fail?
I could not.
That's all you need to say.
I could not.
Yes, and that's why some of us are trained singers. So I attempted, I failed, but that's all right. What we've come to find out here is that I take the win on the recorded duet, which means Rusty will be going first during the live singing. Now, this is where all the pressure sets in. I almost blew it up last year because the nerves got to me, because I realized there are people sitting right off to the left of me that's going to make it a lot more nerve-wracking than the folks that are just sitting on a television monitor in front of me. Rusty, anything you want to get going before we start? Do you want to give it some build-up? Give us a little anything, insight? What do you think?
Well, after seeing John get wrecked for a very brilliant performance of a very known song, I couldn't do one that was known. I have to do me, and I have to do songs that I love regardless of the popularity of them. I'm not going for the popular vote. I just want to have fun. And I had a couple that I had, in fact, the one we did with Greg in the sound test. And today I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to do a song I know and I love. And I'm going to go back to my roots, and I'm going to do a funny song, and I'm just going to do me. And that's who I am. I'm just...
You switched off the song we tested on?
I did, sir, yes.
Oh, dear. All right. Well, Rusty throwing caution to the wind and showing his true artistry.
Just so you know, it is as crappy.
All right.
So
those artists are just
I will duck the music bed here, and then I'm going to turn everybody else off except for Rusty. Let me turn the girls off here. And Rusty, the stage is yours.
Okay, the song is called Piss Up a Rope by Ween. Give it a second. My dinner's on fire while she watches TV, and if you've ever wondered what it's like to be me, she takes all my money and leaves me no smokes, yells at my buddies and insults my folks. I'm breaking my back doing the best that I can. She's got time for the dog and none for her man, and I'm no dope and I can't cope, so hit the fucking road and piss up a rope. You can piss up a rope and you can put on your shoes, hit the road, get trucking, pack your bag, I don't need the ag, on your knees you big booty bitch, start sucking. You ride my ass like a horse in a saddle, now you're up Schitt's Creek with a turd for a paddle, and I can't cope, I piss up a rope. You can piss up a rope and feel the pissy dribble. You can piss up a rope and watch me giggle. For the last 6 months I've been packing your bag. You can wash my balls with a warm wet rag till my balls feel smooth and soft like silk. I'm sick of your mouth and your 2% milk, and I'm no dope, lost all hope, so hit the fucking road and piss up a rope. You can piss up a rope and you can put on your shoes, hit the road, get trucking, pack your bag, I don't need the ag, on your knees you big booty bitch, start sucking. You ride my ass like a horse in a saddle, now you're up Schitt's Creek with a turd for a paddle, and I can't cope, I piss up a rope. You can piss
Piss up a rope and you can put on your shoes. Hit the road, get trucking. Pack your bag, I don't need the ag. On your knees, you big booty bitch, start sucking. You ride my ass like a horse in a saddle. Now you're up Schitt's Creek with a turd for a paddle. And I can't cope, a piss up a rope.
Wow, so many thoughts. I don't think in competition, when it comes to this show, I don't think I ever get nervous. I don't think I'm ever not going to win. It's proven that I never win. But I don't ever think I'm not going to win. And right now, I am legitimately deucing my pants right now on many different levels. Outside of that, let's go to the in-studio judges here. Gang, your thoughts on Rusty's Ween Piss Up a Rope?
Well, I have never heard that song.
Me neither, ever.
In my life. But I thought it was actually really good. Like, probably one of the best songs anyone has done on the show in ever.
Wow.
So far. I like that a lot. Good job.
All right, Maddie, your thoughts?
Also have never heard that song. Definitely was not anything I was expecting. It was good. I think it was probably one of the better performances on the show, probably because it seems like a bit of an easier song to sing, but that doesn't mean you did any less good.
Less good.
Sense. But Joey, to my little cousin, if you're watching that, I hope Uncle John turned that off.
Right. Forgot to preempt that. That's right. To the internet.
Sorry, Joey.
There's porn on the internet. I forgot. I don't know if anybody realized that or not. All right, let's go to Doug. Your thoughts on Piss Up a Rope?
Oh my God, when I heard it was Ween and Blowin' Banana, I had nightmares and stuff, but that was Ween and Merle Haggard joined Ween, and it was great.
Wow.
It was good. I liked it.
John, your thoughts on Ween?
Awesome. Amazing. Gonna be you better like pull some magic out of your butt, dude, because you are going down. If you don't, it's over.
Yeah, I'm feeling really bad right now. Jose, your thoughts on Ween Pissed Up a Rope?
You know, I've got three thoughts. I have never heard that song before. I am now a fan of Ween, so you did your job very greatly. And I don't even think that I could beat you if I sang that song. So,
yeah. It's intense. It's intense. Rusty is pulling out all the stops. I can only imagine what the voting's going to be like. Now, where the panel did pick who goes first and second, here we do not pick, obviously, who's going to finish first and second in the overall voting. That'll be left up to the American public coming up here after the show ends. So it's just left for me, and I'm going to assume the praying position to make sure my diaphragm gets open properly. But don't worry, no R&B this time. I know Doug is freaking out thinking that we're going to go R&B, but we're not going to do that. I'm going mid-'80s, one of the most prolific rock and rollers in the history of ever, Bon Jovi, with a little ditty, as we say in the biz. Me and Jose say we're in the biz. As a little ditty called "Wanted Dead or Alive." Now this is a little bit of a modified break. No big guitar solo. So I might get a little bit out of time as I try and hit it in. But nevertheless, for your listening pleasure, "Wanted Dead or Alive." Let me duck everybody off here. All the same, only the names change every day. It seems we're wasting away.
another place where the faces are so cold. I drive all night to get back home. And I'm a cowboy on a steel horse I ride. I'm wanted, dead or alive. Wanted, dead or alive. Sometimes I sleep, sometimes it's not for day. The people I meet, where we go our separate ways. Sometimes you tell the day by the bottle that you drink. And times when you're alone, well, all you do is think. And I'm a cowboy on a steel horse I rise. I'm wanted, dead or alive. Wanted, dead or alive. Oh, and I ride I'm a cowboy on a steel horse I ride. I'm wanted, dead or alive. And I walk these streets, a loaded six string on my back. I'm playing for keeps, 'cause I might not make it back. I've been everywhere, and I'm standing tall. I've seen a million faces, and I've rocked them all. 'Cause I'm a cowboy on a steel horse I ride. I'm wanted, dead or alive. 'Cause I'm a cowboy, I got the night on my side. I'm wanted, dead or alive. And I ride, dead or alive. And I still drive, dead or alive. Dead or alive. Dead or alive. Dead or alive. Dead or alive.
Oof. Hard to follow up Piss Up a Rope. No doubt about it. But the rendition of Dead or Alive is in the back. So, let's reverse it up a little bit. Let's go to John and your thoughts on my rendition of Bon Jovi's Dead or Alive.
Dude, you met the challenge of Rusty. I have to say that is probably the best performance of this entire contest since the history of this contest, recorded or live.
Wow,
I could not tell that it was even live. Dude, I'm like, no kidding. This is gonna be a race.
All right.
Great job on it. Super outstanding.
It's gonna be a race. Doug, your thoughts on Dead or Alive? You're a Bon Jovi fan, obviously.
I am a huge Bon Jovi fan.
Right.
I almost got a Bon Jovi tattoo in college. I've seen him 6 or 7 times. She Don't Know Me for Runaway is my favorite song of all freaking time. The look of fright on your daughter's faces in the first segment was awesome. It was just a sight to behold. But the energy came through in the last half. Wow. Hell of a job.
Rusty, your thoughts on Dead or Alive?
when you told me you're doing Bon Jovi, I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to do what the hell ever. I lost. And I was right. I think it was great, man. I think you did a great job. That fit you perfectly. 2 and 9. So I bow to you.
In studio guests, Maddie, your thoughts on Dead or Alive?
You definitely surprised me at the second half of the song, I guess. Really came through. I was hoping for more energy, and then you delivered. So even my mom said, my good mom, she said she came down here because she heard Bon Jovi.
Yeah.
So you slayed.
Bobby, your thoughts on Dead or Alive?
Well, when you got out of the chair and got on your knees, I
Frank.
was not sure what to expect. But the first half you had me a little bit fooled. I thought it was like good, but then I was like waiting for a little bit more. And then you picked up what needed to be picked up. You did good. So 2 very different songs, but I think they were both really good.
All right, we go to the singer of the bunch, Jose Urquiza, 3 years Hollow frontman, amongst other musical projects. Your thoughts on my rendition of Dead or Alive?
I think it was fantastic. I think, as everybody pointed out, the second half, you really blew everyone away. I have to say, though, and I'm really sorry to say, I think Rusty, I think he was just a little bit ahead from me it's real close. It's so close. It's going to have to go to the instant replay.
Wow. All right. Well, I love it. So, and the reason for my daughters that I get on the floor is to open the diaphragm up. And I quickly realized after trying to sing this song like 4 or 5 times in the car, there was no way I was going to be able to go full blow from start to finish.
You crushed it.
Yeah, so I had to.
You were just getting
save
warmed up there at the end, I could tell.
Had to save it there. So I don't know how you do it, night after night when you guys are on tour singing the way you sing. It's unbelievable. So even more respect there. All right, so we'll sum it up here as we quickly go around the dais before we call it an evening. John, your thoughts of the finals here on season 3?
I think this is a great finals. I'm really excited to be sitting here watching it from a different chair. Feels a lot better from this chair than that. You guys did a great job. Really brought it. I'm looking forward to the outcome.
Doug, final thoughts on season 3?
I would like to say condolences to Alec John Such of Bon Jovi, who died this past week at 70 years old. But this was amazing and much exceeded my expectations. Thank you.
Girls, your thoughts of season 3 as we come to a close? We find out next Tuesday who the winner is.
I thought that tonight was a very good season finale. Definitely the best season finale so far. And I can't wait to see who wins.
All right. Maddie, your thoughts?
It was a good season. I definitely think that it's going to be very close. I would like you to win. I think Rusty could possibly pull it off, though.
Yeah, no doubt.
But it was a good season. Good job, everybody.
All right, Jose, you're sitting in for the first time. A professional singer, of course, as we all know, selling millions of records. And then suffering through this nonsense that we did. So 4 months later, your thoughts of which season 1 for you, but season 3 in its existence.
I am greatly appreciative of you bringing me here and allowing me to take part in this. I several times wanted to join in with you. I wanted to sing something with you. So maybe the guests have to sing next time. We'll get your daughters to sing a song.
Oh.
Everybody's got to sing.
Yeah, all right. Certainly that's something
you mean
that
they
can
can
be
grade and sing too?
Yes.
No.
That's right. Certainly they could. There's no doubt about it. I think everybody's excited for that. Yeah.
It's a good idea, right, John?
All right. So season 3 coming to a close. Here's what everybody has to know. Emailing can start. The voting can start as soon as we end here. Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com. And then just vote for either me or Rusty. You don't have to list them out 1 and 2. Just vote for who you want to win. And we'll tabulate. Voting closes at 11:59 on Sunday. And then we'll tabulate. We'll have the results here this coming Tuesday, a week from tonight. Doug, as always, thank you for taking part in Season 3 and of all the American Idol Barbecue Central shows. John, same to you. Rusty, an incredible finals. Piss Up a Rope is going to be hard to contend with. You really brought the heat, the artistry, of course, which you're not afraid to do. And then, of course, Jose, I'm forever grateful that you are spending time with us here for the last handful of months. Certainly appreciate it. Anything you'd like to plug music-wise, Jose, that's coming up, or are you guys going to be going out at all here soon?
No, we're working on a couple new songs, but I'm also in a new project with the guys from 3 Days Grace and Breaking Benjamin and Seven Dust, a few guys. So we've got a new project we've been working on for the last year that may come out later this year. So it's called Table 9. Maybe check that out. But otherwise, that's about it, guys. This was awesome.
All right, so that brings a conclusion to the American Idol. I wish everybody thank you. You can go ahead and disconnect here as I run the rest of the show to a close. Wow. Unbelievable. Well, that's going to do it. So, again, if you want to vote, please do it starting right now. Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com, and we will start tabulating those votes. It's going to be tough. Rusty bringing heat, the likes. Did anybody see that song coming anywhere except out of left field? That was insane. Way to go, Rusty. I loved it. All right, let me quickly talk to you about Big Papa Smokers, the one-stop online shop for all things barbecue. Their curated selection of only the best outdoor cooking and grilling supplies will get you on the path to better barbecue results in no time. 13 perfectly balanced flavors of rubs and seasonings, whether you're a competition cook looking to impress judges or you're just grilling for the family. Big Papa Smokers award-winning rubs and seasonings don't disappoint. Pick up a bottle today at the website, bigpapasmokers.com. Also, they have Granny's barbecue sauce. They own it. If you're looking for new go-to sauce, why not give it a try? If you're sick of what's existing out there, try Granny's. And they're selling cookers. Aside from if you're looking for a versatile smoker that's easy to use, check out that Mac 2-star General Pellet Cooker. Big Papa Smokers, the exclusive Mac dealer, even offering special packages. If you're not sure of what grill you need, call them, 877-828-0727, or shop their website at bigpapasmokers.com. That's BIGPOPPA smokers.com. We're back to wrap the show right after this. Stick around. We'll be right back.
All guests appear via the Oklahoma Joe's Ryder Deluxe Pellet Grills hotline. Whole packers, full racks, legs and thighs, injecting butts. If you've never heard this before, you might think you found the best XXX show ever. Let's get back to the most homoerotic host out there today, Greg Rempe.
All right, welcome back. And bump up there. There we go. This portion of the show being brought to you by Vortic Watches. Back in the day, watches were made to be worn in the pocket after World War II. Wristwatches came into vogue. Pocket watches quickly became an afterthought, finding their way into sock drawers and scrap heaps. A tragedy. Enter Vortic Watch Company, helping bridge the gap between America's storied watch manufacturing past and bridging it to the present day, where now wristwatches are once again finding incredible popularity. Here's the coolest part. Each watch that they make is unique and one of a kind. No one will have one just like yours. What happened? It's just bizarre. Oh, right. I know what happened. Anyway, each one is unique and one of a kind. Vortic founded on the motto that America wasn't assembled, it was built. Check out VorticWatches.com. Now we can do this. Did you realize there was a first hour of the show? That's how cool things have been going. All the way back in the first hour, we talked with Derek Riches. He ran 2 segments, DerekRiches.com. We talked about writing a book. We talked about the new Weber Smokefire that was just re-put out there with no fanfare whatsoever. We talked about how to be a barbecue brand ambassador. Second hour, Embedded Correspondents. We did 100% Assurtiy Questions. We also did... What else did we do? We talked about the Arby's sandwich. 3 of us think it's a pan. Rusty loves it. And then we close it out with Season 3, American Idol Barbecue Central Show Edition finale. Rusty sang Ween's Piss Up a Rope. I sang Bon Jovi's Dead or Alive. We'll see who comes out on top and claims the championship for Season 3 in a week's time on Tuesday at the top of the second hour. Big show planned for you next week. Of course, Sam the Cooking Guy is in. Malcolm Reed is in. We will find out who wins the American Idol Barbecue Central Show Edition, plus much more. So, how do I always leave you? September 11th, 2001. I will never forget. Until next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, this is your program host and proud U.S. American, Greg Rempe. Good night now.